Today, I'm gonna give you something that I wish I had. It's a piece of information. Actually, it's 7 tips and tricks that I wish I had when I start learning AI automation. Actually, I didn't start learning AI automation at the beginning. I did start learning automation itself using Zapier. Long story short, it was great. It was amazing. I managed to automate everything. But right now, we have another GOAT, I would say, yeah. NA10 is far the best platform in today's day, and the community is huge. Uh, Everything you can do inside of NA10, so that's why I'm gonna focus my 7 tips so on NA10, so you can learn really fast. And if you had NA10 installed, either self-hosted or in the cloud or VPS, you open up for the first time and you feel overwhelming, don't worry, I've been there. I know how that feels, and that's why I prepared these 7 tips over here, uh, actually guiding you to learn what is most important right now, and later on you go for the nitty and gritty stuffs and the ones that are not that important but actually can make a difference later on. Let me just connect my iPad because I just forgot to do that, and my screen should show up right now. There we go. NA10 tips and tricks. Let's go straight to the number 1. Let me just change my color over here. So the number 1 tip that I can give you is start with templates. Templates. Few people use that. But starting with templates, it will be the same as you buy a new piece of equipment. It comes with a manual, but you don't read the manual. You don't look at the manual. Let's say you go to IKEA and you buy a furniture and you're like, yo, I know how to build that. You don't go to the manual. You will eventually figure it out and making that work and build your new table or chair or whatever that is there. But it's gonna take so long, so much more time. That's why I recommend you starting with templates. Where can I find these templates and how these templates do work? So if you go to your NA10, right down here, you can see templates. So on the left hand side, a little bit down the page, you will find admin panel, templates, variables, insights, help, and so on, whatever they change in that as well. So I'm gonna click templates. And actually the templates are not inside of the NA10 platform. They are inside of the NA10 website, very close to the community. Inside over here, by the time I'm recording this video, there are how many? What are the numbers? Where's the numbers? Numbers. They used to show how many automations. It was like more than 1,500 automations. I don't think they are showing that anymore, or maybe because I have the what's called the iPad version of the page. But anyway, they are not showing the numbers, but I'm sure it is more than 1,500 templates over here. And if I look at the first one, for example, the first one says, how can you back up all NA10 workflows to Google Drive every 4 hours? Really useful. So if you are in a production environment and you want to make sure you have not just the local backup, but a cloud backup, this is the workflow to backup NA10 into Google Drive. Yeah. But the point in here is not actually running the backup. The point in here is understanding how did they do the workflow. And the way I can see that is I'm gonna click on that NA10. So the person that built is Zakaria Kimoto. Thank you so much for building and especially sharing that template with everyone. That is a a few description of what the template does, how does it work, setup, and so on and so forth. Yeah, but the actual template, it's right here. So if you want to see the template, you can click to explore. And when I click to explore, I can move things around and so on and so forth. Don't worry, I'm moving just my one. The original one is there and no problem. I can just undo that and I can zoom out and so on. Yeah, okay. Can I actually use that template so I can double check the configurations? Yes, this template is free, so you can click use for free and a message will pop up in your screen. You can import templates too, and this is my cloud address workspace. You can copy the template to clipboard, JSON file, and then paste into anywhere. Yeah. But in my case, I'm going to import the template into my workflow. And as soon as I start the importing, most templates, they do require credentials. Credentials is, so, okay, that template or that workflow saves my workflows to Google Drive, yeah? So I need to give access to N8N, from N8N to Google Drive and access to my N8N credentials. So that's why I have this page over here. So first step, Google Drive credentials, and second step, N8N credentials, yeah? I'm not gonna do that one right now. I'm just wanna show you how that works, yeah? I'm gonna skip this process and voila, I have my I have the template. So from this point, I can, for example, double check for why do they do this loop? So I can double click on the loop and see, oh, the loop is one batch size. Okay, is there anything different on settings? No, settings is all default. Okay, all right, great. Filter, why did he put a filter over here? Oh, there is a filter. This filter is a JSON ID, is not equal to, create a new folder, items JSON ID. So you kind of figure out what did they change, and you start understanding their thought process to get to this point of the template. Yeah, it's really great. It's really great, especially because maybe in the future you have a client and this client like, oh, we have some workflows. Can we back up in any other place? Or can we make sure we're never going to lose our job? You got to, okay, I know a template that can back up into Google Drive. Of course, you're not going to say that. You're going to say, yes, of course, we can make sure we never lose our progress. And on the back of your mind, you are like, okay, I'm going to take that template, apply the credentials, and schedule to run not every 4 hours, maybe every hour, depending on the project. Okay, so that's the number one. Let's go for tip number two. The number two is focus on just 2 to 3 nodes. 2 to 3 nodes. No more than that. Okay? And if you want a kickstart, yeah, a kickstart for that, I would say let's get a new workflow over here. I don't need to save that one. Let me just refresh this page. And I really don't want to save that one. We got a new workflow here, do we? Yes. So I'm going to click on the plus and I will search for HTTP request. So this is, I'm not going to say one of the most used ones, but if you do understand how HTTP request works, a big portion of N8N will start making sense for you, okay? Especially the methods. What is a delete method? What is the what do the get method does, what the head does, what the options does, what the patch does. You can find this information either inside of the NA10 documentation, or you can ask ChatGPT, for example, okay? With examples and so on. What does happen when I enable send query parameters? What does happen when I send headers? What does happen when I send body? You need to know that. But if you start learning or trying to understand 20, 30, 40 nodes at the same time, you will get lost. Or you will get stuck in a few projects trying to get to a specific solution, walking around and around and around with nodes just to accomplish something. But that result may be, it's maybe inside of one of these configurations over here. You never know. So that's why it's really useful to focus in 1, 2, maybe 3 nodes at a time and fully understand each one of them. Okay? Do you want to start? Start with HTTP request, and then you can use the Google Sheets one. Google Sheets, I believe most of the projects, I would say 80% of the projects use Google Sheets or Google Docs, yeah? And another one, the email node, okay? You just go here, click on plus, email, and then you have, you have Gmail. Let's type email here. You have the email trigger, IMAP, the Gmail, the SendMail, the Microsoft Outlook. Open all of them. See the difference between them, yeah? Check it out in the documentation what means each configuration, and start learning from that, okay? So HTTP request, Google Sheets, and Gmail, they are a really good start, okay? Really good start. The third one, playground mindset. Playground mindset. What is that? Most people, when they are learning a tool that they are not really familiar with that tool, they use extra careful, thinking that they can break the tool. That is not the case for NA10. You can take, what is my other workflows? Yeah, the backup workflow. I don't know if I saved the backup workflow. Let me see if I saved that. No, I didn't save that. Let me open this this workflow here. There we go. Yeah. So start your or get your mindset into a playground mode. Play with that. Turn on a few options. Turn off. Delete. Move things around. Really, play with that. You cannot break it. As soon as you have something working, go there, save, like I did on the top. Look on the top. Can I zoom that? Yeah. On the top left or top right corner, I did save that, yeah? So as soon as I move something, the save button, it's enabled again. I move it again, the save button is enabled again. So play around. Don't worry. You cannot break this platform. You can break the project, but if you break the project, you always have on the top as well, the one that I'm going to click right now, you always have the version history. And inside of the version history, you can go back in time to the version that used to work. Okay? So, my tip number 3 is playground mindset mode. Turn that on. Be curious. Just work. Just change. If you don't change things, you will get the same results. So make a few changes, apply a few configurations, and see if it works or not. If it doesn't work, just roll back. If it doesn't work, maybe figure out why it's not working. But don't panic. You're not gonna break the tool itself. You can break, as I say, the project, but not the tool itself. Okay? Let's go to tip number 4. The number 4, I will suggest you to learn the triggers. Okay? You're gonna learn the triggers. Why did I finish writing? The triggers early, really early in the process. Okay? Early in the process. What are the triggers? Webhook. Let's go for the first one. Do I have a project over here? Yes. So I'm gonna add a webhook. If you understand how webhook works, my gosh, you will know a lot about connection between NA10 and other platforms. When the other platforms don't have any API to connect between the other platform and NA10, you will use a webhook. Most of the times you use a webhook, yeah? So understanding, again, the methods over here, understanding the authentication, the response, the options that you have down here. Oh, let me say the options. For example, what does it mean allow origins or field name for binary data or ignore bots and so on. So try to understand what webhook does and how you can take or make the max of it. Okay, make the best of it. Triggers. Another one, Chrome trigger, but we don't call Chrome trigger anymore. We call schedule triggers. Okay, schedule triggers. Have a look at that as well. And manual triggers. Okay, so manual, webhook, and schedule triggers. Learn those ones really, really early into your process of mastering NA10. Okay, where are we now? Number 4, yeah? So tip number 5, we're almost there. 6 and 7, they're so easy. This tip number 5, you need to read more logs and errors. I don't know about you, but at the beginning, I was like, when I see an error, I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But if you can actually read the error or start reading the logs, those platforms, they got so smart over the years. Before, let's say 15 years ago, 12 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, error messaging, it was like you almost had to decipher something, like decrypt something. It was full of numbers and error messages and codes and this and that. In today's day, no. Today's day, they are almost giving you the solution. Hey, the error is this because you maybe didn't do this and that and so on and so forth. Yeah. So read that. Let me see if I can make an error over here. So let me execute this workflow. Oh, we have a problem. Okay, let's see what is that problem. So I'm gonna double click on this one. No, actually, I wanna see that problem down here. Can you get out? Okay. It is not showing into my platform, but the logs should be down here. Is not showing. Pop up the channel, pop up, no, oh, no. Is not showing the error into my platform. Anyway, they should show down below, My one is not showing. I know the reason, but I cannot fix that right now. So I'm just gonna show you a normal execute step, a normal, not error, but a normal output, okay? But the error is gonna be at basically at the same place. You just read the error, yeah? Timestamp. What is a timestamp? So start reading that. Oh, 2025, 09, 28. So the date is 28 of September 2025, the hour, the milliseconds, the 400. What is that 400? Is the UTC time, is the time zone. So try to understand the outputs or the logs, because they become so useful later on. If you really understand, if you really know how to read the logs, that will make your life so much easier. Yeah. Where is my errors? Why I'm not seeing that? Execute this step. Oh, there we go. Finally. Okay. What is the error? The error is saying stack trace. A chat module subnode must be connected and enabled. I'm just reading this part of it here. Okay, let me see if I can highlight. Yeah. Subnode must be connected and enabled at validate input configuration and so on. So it must be connected. So that means I didn't connect the model. I did not connect the model. And oh, there we go. Now it's here. Huh? I was trying to show this section. Okay, now it's showing there. Hold on, let me zoom in. There we go. So looks like I didn't connect the subnode. And that's true. I did not. Look at the chat model, has no subnode, has no memory, has no tool. Did you see that? By reading the error, it's already pointing me where the solution should be. Is that easy like always? Nah. Is always easy like that? Nah, not really. But at least you have a clue. Okay? At least you have a clue. That's number 5. Number 6, you have to join a community. You have to join a community. A community is a place where you're gonna join and you're gonna be part of a lot of members going to the same direction, with the same goal, with the same mindset, to learn, to share, to ask for help. A community is so healthy that really I believe I should place that one not as a number 6 but as a number 1. Okay, I would put this one as a first, because join a community is, it's really really valuable. Okay, and if you are looking for a community, or if you are a member of a community and maybe want to try a new one, I'm gonna leave the link of my community, AI Brewing, just down below in the description. Have a try. I love my community. I love the members inside of my community. And normally we have great conversations, amazing live streams, and it's really great. Yeah. But join a community. You're going to learn a lot with that. Yeah. Tip number 7, build a small project or real life project. Build a small real life project. Don't wait too long before you're building your first real life project. Why is that? Because if you keep just learning nodes after node after node after node, and error messages and logs and so on, but you don't see the end result. You don't see how and in which way the platform can actually help you daily with a real life project, you will get frustrated and you're probably not gonna come back. Okay? If I can give you a tip, why don't you create a workflow that sends one motivational quote every day to your email? So create a workflow that sends one email every day. It can be 5 a.m. So when you wake up, you check your phone, you go to your emails, and there is a quote from your workflow at NA10 with a motivational quote, with a motivation. Okay, a motivational quote. Why not? It's gonna be so easy. So easy. Yeah, so easy. Try that. So those are my 7 tips for you to improve and cut a few corners, not in the bad way, but a few shortcuts to learn 8 and A10 faster. And of course, starting make your projects a little faster as well. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment down below. Maybe you can share with your friends this video, and I see you in the next one.